So that's what we're talking about this morning. Not the most popular subject in the world, how to not avoid the suffering that we have in our lives, how to not do all the machinations that we do to get it away from us, but to actually allow it to move through us. And the good news is it moves through us. It doesn't get stuck there. As long as we're setting up resistance to it, it's stuck. And then also, when the good times come, not trying to smother them by holding on to them too tightly, they'll move through us, but there will be more good. We don't have to hold on to the good that we have. That's really the meat of this, but we're going to go into some of the details. Because, I don't know about you, but can we talk for a minute about how it feels to live in this world today in 2025? There is garbage. There are endangered animals. There are people in need. There is fear. There is real peril. There are people imprisoned unjustly. We are poisoning the earth, the air, the water. We are poisoning, by doing that, our soft, vulnerable bodies. There are shouts of hatred breeding more hatred, more resistance. And there's this insidious underground hatred. There's greed. And there is the power that the greedy people have to affect lives. In some cases, millions or billions of lives. And the fear, I don't know, maybe you don't feel this way, but the fear that it's irredeemable, that it's already too late, that there's nowhere to go from here. You've depressed enough? This is what I come to, I try to live in the really, really real world, and I don't think that I serve you by coming to you and saying, let's just affirm that it's all good. Because what I know is that it doesn't always feel good. It often doesn't feel good. So how do we deal with that? For me, what all of this brings, there's anger, there's all that other stuff, but in the end, what it brings is this profound sorrow. This profound sorrow. And I was sitting the other morning, meditating, allowing myself to feel this profound sorrow, and trying to resist, trying to get out of it, and let it pass through. And it occurred to me that all of us, to some degree, know how to grieve. Which of us hasn't lost someone or something extremely important in our lives and been able somehow to work through it so that, no, it's not over, it's not gone, but it also doesn't take the central place in our lives anymore. So what lessons can we take from our personal grieving that we can apply to grieving this world, right? We've all lost a lot. But here's the deal. Well, let's talk about loss for a minute. Some of us have lost hope. I haven't lost hope, but we've certainly lost a sense of security that maybe we used to have, whether it was false security or not. We've lost the sense of it. We've lost the predictability. We've lost the illusion that we somehow have control over all this. We've lost our future plans. We've lost our ideas and beliefs around the world, perhaps. We've lost some of these things. So it is worthy of grieving. These losses are worthy of grieving. And there are people involved in these losses, and they are worthy of grieving because the point of grief is that you love. If you didn't love, you wouldn't grieve. And so can we focus for a minute on how the depth of the love that allows us to experience true grief. And I know this is scary. This is what I told myself as soon as I thought, how about, could I apply what I know about personal grieving to this world? I thought, but there's no end to it. It just keeps on going every day, every day, every day. And I went, just like real grief, just like regular grief. I've lost somebody. That person is not coming back. It's gone. They're gone from my life. Grief as a way of life, grief every day. But grief, again, that doesn't take the central place in my life, but begins to take a place in my life that will never be fixed or completely healed or explained away, but that also won't be the most important thing, won't occupy my thoughts. So, the fact doesn't change. The facts, and the facts of the world are changing. They're changing all the time. So I'm not saying give up hope. I'm saying I know that's how you feel sometimes, right? Or if not, just go like this and I'll quit. All right, okay, I didn't think so. So the things may change or may not. The loss of something, if we've lost a person, we're not getting that person back in the form that we came to love them in the first place. That's a fact. That doesn't change. The facts of the world are changing all the time, but we have no control over how those facts are changing or when they will, or if they'll change in the direction that we want them to. So what happens? What happens with true grieving is that I change, right? You change. We grow around the wound and we keep on living. And that's the triumph of grief, is that we learn how to keep on living. If it's healthy grieving, we develop a scar maybe. And there's something missing, we feel the pain, but eventually it doesn't take center stage. And the best outcome, this is the best outcome, because the alternative is not to love. The alternative is not to love. Have you been tempted to hate the world? To hate your country? Yeah, I'm tempted. But then I remind myself immediately, what have I dedicated my life to? What do I believe is the most important thing in the world? What do I believe is the one power that can overcome every other power, every other seeming power? And I believe that that is love. I have seen love do that. I've seen love do that in situations over and over and over in my life and in the lives of others. And I believe it strongly. And I believe it doesn't take a whole lot of love to overcome its polarity, this hatred and this fear. Hatred is really about fear, y'all. Because love vibrates at so much of a higher level that it takes, if they're equal amounts, love wins. Love wins. And guess how we make sure they're equal amounts or more? Guess how we get to the tipping point where we can see love win in a material way? We love and we love and we love. And so what does that mean in the process of grief? It means that we feel the pain and we don't close our hearts. Ultimately, that's what grief is. A lot of us may have tried, and maybe you've done it fairly successfully, to get over the loss of someone in your life without keeping your heart open. You just closed off that part. Well, I lost that person. Never going to love that way again. Nope. No. Whether it's to divorce or getting dumped or having to dump them because something they did that didn't fit with your life anymore, or whether the loss is death. Sometimes we close down. We close our hearts. And the skillful grieving is about keeping your heart open no matter what. And it doesn't always feel good, like Pema Chodron says. It doesn't always feel good, but guess what? It passes through. And there are good feelings, and they pass through too. On and on and on. If we don't create a roadblock by either trying to hold on to the good or trying to resist what doesn't feel good, which means that every time those feelings come up, they're like ping pong balls, not like pinballs, like a pinball machine. They go back and forth against all these little constructs that we've made. What if we just clear that out and allow them to go through? Clear out these patterns, clear out what the Buddhists call our samskaras, which It's interesting to me that it has the word scar in it, samskara, all these places that we have either shut down or it's all shutting down. If you shut down like this, it's the same as shutting down like that. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your soul doesn't know the difference. So how do we shut off our hearts? Here are some of the ways. We deny, we distract, we keep busy. As long as I keep busy, it doesn't hurt, so I'm just going to keep busy. The problem with that is, at some point, you got to rest. And the moment you do, boom, there it is. There it is. We anesthetize. We get temporary numbness, whether from our addictions, whether alcohol or drugs or food or gambling or Netflix, whatever. And again, we are trying to get to a high, but there is no high anymore, right? We may have gotten high one time, but now we're just trying to keep out of the lowest of the low. How do we do that with our hearts open? Because here's the deal. When you turn off your heart, when you avoid, you turn off your heart to everything to a degree. As Khalil Gibran says, you'll laugh, but not all of your laughter. And you'll cry, but not all of your tears. So open-hearted grieving is about saying, I am willing to cry all my tears because I want to laugh every single bit of my laughter. That's what I'm after. I'm after never closing down my heart, and that means I continue to be a being of love no matter what happens around me. We're all beings of love. That's how we were created. But are we sharing that love, or are we jealously guarding that love and only giving it to those that we have decided might deserve it? So that's our choice. And the stages of grief that Elizabeth Kubler-Ross has set out, I don't like calling them stages because that makes it sound like they're like in some synchronous order. But anger, that's one of the ways we avoid. I don't want to feel how bad this hurts, so I'm just going to get mad. Say it's their fault and their fault and their fault and their fault, and if they would do it differently, then I would be okay, and so I'm just going to carry this anger because anger hurts less than its alternative, which is deep sorrow. Anybody doing that a little bit? You don't have to raise your hand. I know who you are. Bargaining. If I just do this, then maybe this will happen. And if I just do this, then maybe I'll get more of this. And maybe if we're bargaining, but no one's signing the bargain except us. A contract only exists when both parties sign, and the universe has not signed your contract. Depression. What does depression look like? It looks like giving up, like, never mind. It's all just too heavy. Not even going to deal with it anymore. Not going to think about it. Not going to deal with it. And then that can take over your life pretty quickly. The danger is that until our dying day, we realize that what we tried not to feel, the loss of the life we knew or we believed, the danger is that we will have lost our life. We will, on our dying day, realize we didn't live. That's the danger of avoidance, is that you realize one day, oh, I didn't live. I was so afraid of dying. I was so chuffed about, or so angry, or so whatever about other people being hurt or dying, that I forgot that this is my one precious life to live. Maybe, unless the Hindus are right. Who knows? But right now, this is my one precious incarnation as this individuation of God. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to use it? Am I going to use it up? Or am I going to shut it down? That's our choice. So then the other stage of grief is acceptance. And acceptance doesn't mean we condone it. It doesn't mean we go, well, that's okay. Because guess what? A lot of stuff is just not okay. But it is what it is. And when we resist it, when we resist that reality, when we resist feeling what it feels like to be in that reality, we've talked about the consequences of that. Acceptance doesn't mean, I like this. This is great. It means this is where I am, which is where I have to start from. I can't start from where I'm not. I can only start from where I am. So when I get into acceptance, I can have some peace. And that is the only effective space from which I can act. Acceptance doesn't mean there's nothing to do about it. There may be a lot to do about it. Ask your guidance. Ask your God. Go into meditation. Go into prayer and say, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? And then listen very carefully and then do that thing. What is mine to do? So then we realize we are alive. And we want to be alive. And we don't want to waste our lives. So we allow it. We allow ourselves to feel it. We change. The loss doesn't change, but we change. And here's one of the ways it changes. Here's the miracle of it. The loss maybe will never change. But if we grow around it and grow and grow and grow and grow, then in context, the loss becomes such a small part of the wholeness of who we are. The pain becomes such a tiny part of the wholeness of who we are. Whereas if we don't grow around it, then we may just stay focused on it for the rest of our lives. Do you want to stay focused on it for the rest of your life? Do what is yours to do and then let it go. What can you do to keep your heart open? Well, feel it. Weep. Yell if you need to. For a while. What I have found is if I let myself just really, really, really do the weeping, at some point I'm weeped out. Joy comes in the morning. You may cry all night, but joy comes in the morning. It will if you allow it. It will if you allow it. So what we kind of come down to is, again, the serenity prayer. We talked about that last week. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. I can't change that we're losing some stuff that was really important to us, or our illusion that we had the things that are really important to us. Because y'all, that's what we're losing in this country. We're not losing what we had, we're losing what we thought we had. We're losing what we went to sleep and assumed was true when it never was true for so much of our population. And now we're feeling it. It's out in the open, which, letting the light in, that's how things heal. So sometimes when it seems the very worst, does anybody ever have had a burn debrided? Oh, it's the most exquisite physical pain that I have ever felt to have a burn debrided. And it's the only way it heals, is to get that old skin off and allow the new skin to come. So maybe that's what we're doing right now. Maybe we're all involved in that process. And ours is to allow that to happen so that the healing can happen, and to stand in love so that as the healing happens, we are supporting it in every single possible way that we can. So, just a few don'ts. Don't run. It postpones, it compounds, it confuses. And don't take it all on. Guess what? It's not all yours. You never did lose a person that there weren't dozens, at least, maybe hundreds or thousands of other people who lost that person too. We are not losing things alone in this country. We are losing them among others. And so we open our hearts to them as well. And simply the act of opening our hearts to others helps us to heal, because that's how we're made. That's how we're made. So break down if you need to, but don't wallow. Wallow if you need to, but don't wallow forever. And take care of yourself. Because you can't take care of the world if you're allowing the world to get you so far down that you don't take care of yourself. Can't take care of anybody if you don't take care of yourself. And that changes from day to day. Some days that means you need to sleep. Some days that means you need to get up. Some days that means you need to eat. Some days that means you need to, maybe not eat so much. It changes from day to day. Allow yourself to stay alive with yourself so that you know what it is that you need. That's part of keeping your heart open. And then tell your truth. Oh, witness is so important. Now, there's a difference between witnessing, allowing someone to witness our pain, than in trying to build consensus and case building. This hurts, and it hurts you too, and isn't it terrible? Let's talk about it. Let's grind into it. Let's get on social media and all say the same thing over and over again until some poor chump says something different, and then we all jump on that poor guy, right? That's not the same as allowing your pain to be witnessed. Yeah. So tell your truth and understand that your truth is your very, very limited perspective. Tell your story, but don't marry your story, because your story will change if you let it. It will change if you're paying attention. Connect with other people. Connect. Not to get together and complain, but to get together and remember your oneness. Remember the love that binds us all. Remember that there is hope. Remember that there is beauty, that there is laughter, that there is joy. And if you need to weep together, weep together. That's okay too. And then you apply whatever spiritual principles have been working in your life. You know what they are. Prayer, meditation, understanding, meditating on the fact that we are one, trying to get your head around that. You can't get your head around it, but I think you can get your heart around it. And that's our solution. Our solution is not to go, I'm grieving, although that is part of what is happening. The solution is to keep our hearts open no matter what, because that's how we heal. Thank you. So we're going to take these ideas for a moment into meditation. If you will allow yourself to just settle in to wherever you are. Maybe drop what's going on in your head and allow yourself to be fully in your body. How does the breath feel as it enters and leaves your body? Where do you feel it? How does it feel to be sitting in this pew? How does it feel to have your feet on the floor, your hands maybe in your lap, maybe on the seat beside you? How does it feel to be your particular individuation, your particular expression of God, embodied? And however it feels, maybe just allow yourself to feel. You don't have to go, this feels good, or this feels bad, or I'm not doing this right. Just allow yourself to feel. What does it feel like? And as thoughts come, instead of thinking, I shouldn't be thinking that, or I'm not supposed to be thinking because I'm meditating, or whatever other myriad thoughts that we have to follow every thought that we have. What if we just go, there's that. And just allow it to pass through. This too. That too. Your brain was made for thinking. It's not going to stop. But you can resist it or you can allow it. This too. And when you are embodied, your emotions, which are held very much in the body, will rise as well. Your states of being, boredom, this too. Sorrow, yeah, yep, that. Joy, that too. Connection, uncertainty, comfort, belonging, loneliness, in the vast spaciousness of you, there is room for it all. And we only get hung up on it if we form the hook. And when we allow it to just do what it does, brain thinks, our hearts feel. Then perhaps somewhere in there we can feel what's underneath is, it's all okay. If I am God in expression, then nothing can harm me because nothing can harm God. If this is the truth of my being, then in this moment and every moment, regardless of what I think or how I feel, I truly am okay. God is. And all is well. Maybe allow that thought in for a moment. God is. And all is well. God is, I am, and all is well. And so it is. Amen.